Welcome back to Everyday Economics. This is the podcast that helps you understand the economic world going on all around us. Everyday Economics is brought to you by the Center Square Newswire service. I'm Krug. I'm publisher of the Center Square. And Orphe Divounguy is my partner on the show. He's a PhD economist. Today is Monday, February 9th. And we are going to talk about AI. And I guess we're going to maybe talk about the politics or partisanship. I don't know. It depends on where you want to take this, Dr. O. But you'd send me a journal summary, and I'm gonna read it, and we can jump in from there. And of course, you've kind of given me all the answers. I want to ask you what the right questions are here, as far as what we've been asking. Using new data from I'm quoting directly from this paper, and Orphe, you can offer the source and the citation. Using new data from the Gallup Workforce Panel, we document a persistent partisan gap in self-reported AI use at work. Democrats are consistently more likely than Republicans to report frequent use. In 2025, Q4, for example, 27.8% of Democrats report using AI weekly or daily, compared with 22.5% of Republicans. Democrats also report deeper task-level integration using AI in 16% more work activities than Republicans. Consistent with this, Democrats are employed in occupations with higher predicted AI exposure based on task content measures and report larger perceived differences in AI-related job displacement risk. However, in regression models, the partisan gap in AI use disappears once we control for education, industry, and occupation, indicating that observed differences primarily reflect compositional variation rather than political affiliation per se. So, I mean, that's an interesting abstract. Where is this from, and what is it that lit the lamp for you, my friend?
Well, I just think it's fascinating, right? Because if you're a conspiracy theorist, you're going to go and say, "Well, hold on a second, is AI partisan?" Right? But in reality, no. It turns out that, first, the results come from there's a survey, right? The Gallup Workforce Panel that basically looks at, the share of people that use AI at work. And what it found was that consistently over the past couple of years, more Democrats used AI at work than Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
And so the big question here was, well, why? Why is it that Democrats are consistently more likely to use AI at work than Republicans, right? And that's
tell me the answer to that, because I utilize AI quite a bit. I find it interesting for a number of different tasks that I feel like I need to get done. But I have seen, in particular, in terms of asking it for, direction or thoughts around whatever it might be, X, Y, or Z. If it enters into the political realm, it does seem to pull left. Now, might that have something to do with it learning from those that are participating with it more often? Because I mean, it's let's not be naive about this. I mean, we are feeding information into it that it then utilizes to make itself, in theory, more logical and, I guess, smarter. So, drop back and throw that out to the boundary and tell me what you think.
Well, I don't know where to start here. I think ultimately the reason that you see this gap is actually has everything to do with has nothing to do with politics, but everything to do with educational attainment, industry, and occupation. It just turns out that Democrats are more likely to be exposed to AI in their workplaces. And it has nothing to do with, right? It has nothing to do with AI being partisan, right? And so.
From this, should we extract the obvious that there probably are more people who are Democrats, then Republicans, who work in tech related jobs.
Yeah, maybe,
Okay.
maybe, because you look at the of course the way the researchers would do this is they would control for things like demographics, and they would control for occupation and industry, right? And it potentially you could argue that you know parts of the country where people have higher educational attainment or in some industry like maybe finance and tech are more likely to be faced with AI use at work
Uh-huh.
than people in other types of occupation that maybe are uh, more blue collar as opposed to white collar, et cetera, et cetera. And so that is really the story here. It's not really a story about Republicans versus Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a story about what kind of work you actually end up you actually do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you are sitting at your desk, chances are you're having to use AI.
So, what's the name of it? What was the title on this study, and who produced this?
Yes, it's The Politics of AI by Nicholas Bloom and Christos Makridis, two economists. And just really, really fascinating research.
Well,
Showing,
let me allow you to roam through this story a little bit, or through this or through this study. What else did you find interesting? What
well,
are the beyond that
the
top
survey
that top
results.
line?
The survey results alone are interesting,
Okay.
right? So, like, it looks like the percentage of times AI is being used, the number of times per week AI is being used at work, uh, occupational exposure. It looks at the percentage of people who believe they will be displaced by AI.
Mm-hmm.
14% Democrats compared to 13% Republican, right? So actually, Republicans don't necessarily believe the jobs will be replaced by AI, which again makes sense if you're not doing if most are not doing a job that is exposed to AI, they will likely not feel like their jobs could be replaced by AI, right? And so I think that's what I find absolutely fascinating. You see this at a high level. You see this partisan divide, but ultimately, when you account for the type of work people do,
Mm-hmm.
you very quickly realize that it has everything to do with your occupation and the industry you're in, and really not your political affiliation.
So that is this largely measuring sentiment? I mean, or would you say that it's measuring like self-reported activity, and it's
It's
drawing
it's
conclusions
measuring
from it?
it's measuring self-reported AI use at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Along the partisan line.
I mean, I still feel very much that we are at the beginning of the on ramp to AI, and AI, in my view, is fascinating and what it can do. And I mean, I just think about like some of the things that you and I've shared. Like you are trying to find a particular type of car that is very challenging to buy affordably, and you ran, I mean, I don't know how many simulations you ran, or how many reports you ran on pricing targets. And when we looked at it, as I guess I was kind of giving you a hand as you're working your way through that
Yeah,
process.
yeah,
um I mean, it came back as like, I mean, it was incredibly effective at getting almost to a number where this car that you wanted, if you wanted it, it was going to cost this.
yeah.
And it even told you like sort of like the likelihood of you being able to buy it anywhere outside of that range, and narrowed it down virtually to zero possibility that it could be
Well,
acquired any
yeah.
less expensively than that
Yeah, yeah.
number.
Well, I mean, that's it. It's probabilistic, right? So it's all about probabilities, and and ultimately you could create an AI agent to help you with just about any task. And what you do is you feed data and so a few instructions to what I consider my research assistant, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's true whether or not you're buying a used car or buying a house, right?
Yeah.
Or you think of any kind of application, really. Um, and so, yeah,
Anywhere the data exists, AI can help you to rationalize it, harmonize it, make sense of it. And and then I think the logic has become sophisticated enough that it actually can sort of map out a plan to purchase in a situation like the one that you described.
yeah. Well, ultimately it's like, hey, I want to increase my odds of winning this bidding war, let's say,
Sure.
right? And so I get my assistants to analyze the data, and then I make a decision based on some of that, right? And so it's what I'm seeing, and it's just quick going quickly through pages and page. I was looking at, I mean, even you're doing your due diligence, and this is why the legal profession is going to feel it, I think. uh, you want to do your due diligence to, let's say, buy a local business, and you
Mm-hmm.
start to look at the numbers, and the accountants are also going to be having to use AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to make the task very quick. In fact, I would like to experiment with AI for doing my taxes this year. I think that's not a bad idea,
Yeah.
right? And so, very quickly go through the data, go through the numbers, go through the rules of the game, right? The part that the fine print, the stuff you don't really want to be reading.
Yeah.
You could get that done pretty quickly nowadays, thanks to the tools that we have access to.
I enjoyed the conversation. Thanks as always, Dr. Rowe. Hey, make sure that you read Orphe's Everyday Economics column every Monday at the Center Square, and listen to what we have to say every weekend on the Center Square Radio Hour.